The second piece we will look at is the Thames Basket. This is similar in structure to the Mary Rose basket. It has that large globulose hollow pommel structure. It has the similar bars coming above and then comes straight across on the guard here, coming back down and marries into a support bar that comes around with that forward guard, doing that same similar hook shape back into the base or the foot of the guard there. The structure is the saltire, or saltire, sometimes people will say, bar structure of the cross with a plate here with a little diamond pattern on it. Again, very small and detailed, but you do see that structure there. You get the slightly pillowed knobs on the end with a little nipple on the end of that as a detail. Sometimes these are called kind of cannon turned arm because they have a reminiscence of what a cannon barrel would look like. But you see that a lot on this period of certain cross guards. And as you saw in the Mary Rose, they were a little simpler, maybe just from corrosion. But here you see they are a little more detailed. But again, you have the round crossbar construction. And again, you have that nice firm grip. This piece has a chain, twisted wire style of wire bound on the grip with leather underneath it. You do see that in some pieces from this period of time. And it has a multi-fullered blade, which has two fullers running way down to the end, and then kind of a shelf type ricasso fuller on the edges, where it's almost full width on the edge and then dives in and then pops back up. Kind of an interesting, nice detail. These swords, again, very effective, would have been excellent types of swords for hand-to-hand combat. You can see that it has that same ability to attack with the false edge with that big pommel kind of supporting it. The pommel in this case has more of a kind of a pedal shape to it, where it's up and down, rotating around the hollow sphere of this kind of raised and lowered section in detail. Again, peened and then with a nut on the back side. This one has a washer, a decorative washer on there. So this is the Thames hilt. Really nice sword, feels great in the hand. Really interesting development in that basket hilt structure of swords that you see coming out of this period of time, 1540, 1550 or so. Next, we're going to look at the Sea Venture hilt. This again has a little more of that classic Scottish basket hilt shape. We have not finished this up as finely as we would if it was for a particular customer or something. We did this as a reconstruction for an article we wrote about this particular hilt that was found. It's in incrustation, so there's coral all over it and stuff. They did a lot of x-rays of it, and we were able to take those and ascertain what the most likely construction of the hilt would have been. And you can see you have the saltire or the crossbars riding here, but they come out of a larger plate section, and this is something that evolves over time. This will become decorated and pierced in the fancier basket hilts you see. It also has a small support arm that runs down to the cross. The foreguard is now mirrored on either side in a way that creates a kind of a V shape here. And you can see that the hilt itself has been structured to allow for the hand to ride very tightly to the guard. So these bars here have been pushed forward so that your hand rides up right inside of there, creating a situation where you've got a real firm grip. The pommel has decreased in size. It may still be hollow, but it doesn't need to be. This could be a solid piece here, and it would still give you a nice particular on the feel of the sword and how it interacts. You begin to see the little curlicue and structure here where you get the fan, the forward placed, and then sometimes these will end up being curled back on themselves, and that's what they call the ram's horns on the later Scottish basket hilts. But you can see it's still structured. It's got a guard that runs across here, and then the bars are all added to create a piece that helps protect that hand and create a structure that is very protective for your sword hand. One thing to notice on most of these is that they are not symmetrical in this shape. In almost all cases, the inner side with the thumb is going to be smaller on these guards than the outer side. And they would be tight to the hand. You do not have a big space to put your hand in there with a gauntlet or something like that. These are often quite tight. Some of the originals we've interacted with, you can almost not get your hand in some of them. They're that tight. So it is a structure that was not made large. It was made just big enough to get your hand around the sword's grip.